Well, it's not last year's non-conference gauntlet, but as Goldilocks would say, this year's non-con slate is just right.
This is Tyler Hansbrough, and you're listening to Locked On Tar Heels.
You are Locked On Tar Heels, your daily podcast on the UNC Tar Heels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, what's up? It's Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. Happy House Settlement Kickoff Day. Welcome into the Locked On Tar Heels podcast, the only daily North Carolina show out there. I'm your host, Isaac Schade. You're joining me at the place to get your Tar Heels content every single day. It's all part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thanks so much for making this your first listen or watch. And I want to give a special shout out to all the everydayers out there, all the members of the Locked On Tar Heels Discord, and of course, our Locked On Tar Heels insiders. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. I mentioned it, but today being July 1st, the house settlement stuff starts today, NIL Go and all that. NBA free agency opened up yesterday on Monday. Cam Johnson, so much for him being a teammate with Drake Powell. He's off to the Nugs. Crazy stuff there. Joining me on the show today is a longtime friend of mine whom I've literally never seen in the face until this moment. It's Davis Wallace hanging out. So great to have him. Davis and I first got to know each other as we were both writers for Sports Illustrated's UNC website. And so we did that under the great leadership of Kiera Luck. Shouts to Kiera, man. Haven't thought about her in a minute. I hope she's doing well. And Davis now is joining me on the show today. And kind of the impetus for it is because he and his son Davey were at Montross Camp last week. And so we were texting about it. And I said, hey, I'd love for you to come share about the experience. So we're going to do that. But Davis is going to join me to talk non-con schedule as well. So it should be a fun show. Davis, so glad you're here. Man, it's going to be great because Davis and I often text when we have Trivia Tuesday questions on the show. And so I got to have one with him on it. Davis, here it is. We'll answer it in segment 2, but I want to go ahead and give you the primer. When is the last time the North Carolina Tar Heels went undefeated in non-conference play? We're going to answer that in the second segment. So get your wheels turning, my man. You think you can figure that one out?
I think so. I'll think about it. Also, thanks for having me. Yes, I know this is the first time we've actually been, I guess, FaceTime to FaceTime, if you will. And yes, shout out to Kiera Luck for connecting us. I do miss those SI UNC days, especially during COVID. That's essentially like all we had to just hold on to, especially with all this Carolina content going on at the time.
I know. Go ahead. Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, I said glad to be here and just ready to talk about all things UNC per usual.
Man, great stuff. Yeah. I remember sitting there on Zoom, just talking to Coach Brown and Coach Williams and all the crazy stuff. That was awesome. Okay. The non-con. Carolina officially released the non-conference schedule last Friday. Of course, I was gone at church camp, so I'm trying to find some service so I can tweet it out and say things about it. No such luck, but here we are. So we already knew most of it, Davis. Obviously, the new things that we found out were the final opponent is ETSU. We also found out the NC Central date. We found out that Winston-Salem State is going to be the other exhibition game. And then obviously late last week, we had also learned the date of the Georgetown game being December 7th. So Davis, I want to ask you an initial question here, and then I'm going to pull up the non-conference schedule so that those watching on YouTube can see it. And if you're listening to this, you can pull it up on my Twitter and find it there. Davis, obviously, this schedule looks a whole lot different, this non-con, than last year's non-con. We'll get into the nitty-gritty of it, but I think a great entry point into it is to ask you this. Is this schedule an overcorrection to last year, an undercorrection, or is it just right? I tipped my cards out of the gate, but I want your thoughts on it, my man.
I would definitely say an overcorrection just because we have 9 new players. As you know, we only have 3 returning players from last year's team. And we lost RJ. I know we lost Mondo the year before. So I know they're building the chemistry now. So with this, I think it's definitely an overcorrection. It's we were traveling all over the place. We played really tough teams constantly. We were in a lot of those games. We were down 20 a lot of those games and came back, lost by 2 and 3, as you know. So yes, overall, I think it's an overcorrection. Like granted, yes, we still have Kansas, we still have Michigan State, and we're going at Rump this year. But like Georgetown, I know they're up and coming. We have ETSU that should be winnable. ECU should be winnable. Games like that, even St. Bonnie's and Navy as well, and Ohio State shouldn't be too challenging.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that we have like a lot of these games are at home, so we don't have a true road game non-scheduled. So hence why I think it's an overcorrection.
Okay, I hear. Yeah, the only true non-con game there is the game at Rupp that Davis just mentioned. By the way, if you hear a dog barking, you're not crazy. That's Davis's dog, loving hearing us talk, just hanging out back there. So don't freak out. Yeah, Davis, it's so interesting because last year, there was that gauntlet Kansas, Auburn, Michigan State, Alabama, Florida, UCLA. I mean that alone is 2 1 seeds. Plus Carolina playing Duke, who was also a 1 seed 3 times. So between the regular season and ACC tournament, Carolina played 1 seeds 5 times. I mean, that's insanity. But yeah, I mean, this is a big change in the other direction because of Carolina's 13 non-con games. Remember, folks, that with pulling back on the ACC schedule from 20 to 18, that allows for 13 non-con games. 7 of them are bye games, Davis. Central Arkansas, Radford, NC Central, Navy, USC Upstate. USC would not be a bye game. USC Upstate, ETSU, and ECU. Plus St. Bonaventure's not a bye game. That's an A10 school. They're kind of up and coming as well. But that's, if you include them, that's kind of 8 of these 13 games that are against mid or low major teams, Davis. And so with you calling that an overcorrection, do you think that's not going to get Carolina prepared for what they need to do the rest of the schedule?
I think it will, just because they're going to be used to it. And the fact that there's a lot of talent on this team and a lot of transfers. So they've seen all types of play. I know Jonathan Powell, he was a freshman last year, but still playing in the Big 12, you're seeing all types of teams. You're seeing your Arizonas, you're seeing your Texases, you're seeing your Houstons. So he's coming here with that experience. And even Keon Evans, he was at Colorado State. They barely lost to Maryland in the tournament. So that's a different style and play. So that's all that is meshing together, in my opinion. And even for someone like Seth Trimble, he's the leader, as you know now, or at least the face of the program for the time being. He's seen all types of games and plays in non-conference and in conference. And as we know, ACC, last year, it was probably the worst conference, the worst ACC in history that we've ever seen. So hopefully it won't be that bad this year. But overall, I just feel like we still have some tough opponents. And even these bye games, if you will, that brings up the confidence. And then it won't maybe not game situational will it prepare them for, but I feel like it will just prepare them with the confidence when there's ready for play or tournament, for that ACC tournament play or NCAA tournament, if we make both.
Yeah. So, and then let me explain why I think it because I looked at it and I was with you. I thought overcorrection. I'm going to land on it being right where I think it needs to be. And some of the reasons why, and I love that we kind of disagree on this, but for me, it's you mentioned all those new guys coming in. I think it does allow them a little bit of an opportunity to get that figured out. I think it is kind of wise to have all these games. I guess I would say I wish maybe that last ETSU game, that last one we just learned about, was another high major opponent. That would be ideal to me. But from a scheduling standpoint, to just rack up some more wins, I think that helps in the eyes of the committee. From our only returning players, as you said, are Seth Trimble and James Brown and Zayden High coming back, getting everybody new mixed in. And then I think another reason for me why I kind of like this is because of the warmth of Coach Davis's seat a little bit. I know people are a little bit hey, if the Tar Heels can't do it this year, man, is that it for Hubert Davis? And I don't know where Bubba Cunningham's at on that, but I think it certainly helps to have some more winnable games. The other thing is, Davis, when I look at the 5 high majors they are playing, 3 of the 4 are against the teams that play in the Champions Classic, being Kansas, Michigan State, and Kentucky. The only team they won't play is Duke, who they do play in ACC play. And then, as you said, Ohio State and Georgetown. So, you know, I think I have settled from my initial overcorrection thought to, I think this is, for me, right for this team. And I'm fine with you pushing back on that if you want to.
Yeah, I guess it's just, I would say I like the fact that it's kind of spaced out this year. The fact like it's Kansas on November 7th. And then a couple of weeks later, then it's Michigan State. I know it's close to the Kentucky game,
right?
And then Georgetown, and then Ohio State is right before Christmas. So the fact that like they're major opponents, but it's spaced out. It just seemed like during the Hubert Davis run, it just seemed like it was like the PK 80 when that 10 overtime game against Bama, and then cross country playing against at Indiana at Assembly
straight there. They didn't even go home before that.
Right. So just the fact that like you're coming from West Coast, you're going to the Midwest in the frigid winter. So just the fact that like that, and then like did we play Virginia Tech after?
In Blacksburg too. It wasn't even in Chapel Hill.
So which is a sneaky tough place to play. So just the fact that like at least like now it's spread out a little bit, and
good word.
And just the fact that like there's a lot of confidence building games like in between.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
And also I feel like when the polls come out, like even if they're 23rd, which is somewhat fine for now, but like I feel like if you're just all you're doing is like you're stockpiling wins, then like that's fine. Because I felt like in the past it's been like the Carolinas in the top 10, top 15, then they lose a game or two in a row, then they drop to like 23. And then they lose another game, then they're out. And then come conference play, if you don't beat Duke, you're probably not going to get any votes per se. And then if you definitely don't beat Duke the second time, then are you going to be ranked? So I guess that's part of it as well.
Yeah.
I know like that's, I guess, one way, because there's a lot of other, I guess it's more so the Big 12, like they'll stockpile a lot of their wins. And it's like, well, is this team really good? They've been playing like Sisters of the Blind schools for non-conference and up until conference play. So I guess that's part of it. I guess it'd be nice if Carolina is ranked consistently for a lot of non-conference leading up to the ACC play, and then hopefully into the ACC tournament. Hasn't happened too often in the Hubert era.
Yeah. Man, yeah. I that's a great point, Davis. I love where you're at there. Now, we do need to, speaking of ACC play, this Georgetown game has been slotted in where Carolina would typically be playing an early season ACC game. Is the ACC doing away with that? And I also want to ask Davis about the exhibition matchups and see if he can answer the Trivia Tuesday question. All that coming up in just a second. Right after I tell you about FanDuel, summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action, so why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. You can use FanDuel to track your favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet. It's easy to use, fast to pay out, and makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. So whether you're placing a same-game parlay or watching a bet right into the ninth inning, FanDuel makes it feel like you're part of the action. Carolina, plus 4,000 to win the national championship next year in men's basketball. That's steep, but a great opportunity to get them at a good buy. If you want to get to the front end of things, Purdue and Houston have the best odds at plus 1,000. Are you new to FanDuel? Cool. New customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if that bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. All right, it's great to be joined on the show today by Davis Wallace. Probably new to a lot of you, but somebody who I've known digitally for a long time. And we are talking non-con scheduled today. Here in just a second, actually, we're going to switch to talking about Davis, his experience last week at Montross Camp with his son, Davey. Davis, one of the things is since the 2019-20 season, when the ACC network started, things went to a 20-game schedule. They moved up having an early ACC game, usually that first weekend of December. Now, ACC has cut back to 18 games this year, and that Georgetown game is going to slot into that weekend where we typically get that game on Sunday, December 7th. So, Davis, my conjecture is that the ACC is going to keep all 18 games together and actually not have one of those early season games. Obviously, we're not going to know for sure till the schedule comes out, but if there's not 20 games like happened in 2019-20 when it started, I think they're just going to do away with that. Do you like that? If that's the case, or have you enjoyed having one conference game as part of the non-con mix?
No, I definitely like it because I think like it's a good way to, I guess it's maybe a hybrid of like ACC, SEC challenge now, ACC Big Ten challenge. You can do like a home and home. I would prefer a home and home than like a neutral site game. So like now, like it's Georgetown now. Like I prefer, I mean, no offense, that Carolina played Georgetown instead of like a Boston College. Especially early on, like I'll watch the game regardless, but like I'm more in tune, and just the fact like, you know, like the nostalgia from like the 82 game and stuff, or even the painful memories that we have from the 07 Elite Eight game. So things like that, or just the fact maybe next year, like it could be like Arizona, or even it can be like USC. So a team like that. So instead of just like, okay, like we've seen all these matchups and like the ratings, like I know like TV drives everything, well, the deals and stuff. So like, does anyone care about a Carolina Boston College game? Even like Carolina Pitt, I know the whole Caples and that whole situation, but yeah, or even just like Carolina Cal, Carolina Stanford, Carolina SMU, Carolina Notre Dame. Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah. And, you know, I feel like last year was Georgia. Actually, it's been Georgia Tech each of the last 2 years, question mark. If I remember, I know it was.
I believe so. It seems like every year it's Georgia Tech because it's Georgia Tech.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Again, we don't know for sure, but that's just my conjecture based on how the schedule is playing out. Davis, as for the exhibition games, one of the interesting things is the non-con schedule came out, and we all know about this BYU game, but it's not listed on Carolina's official schedule. I thought that was a bit odd. But I wanted to get your opinion, your take on Carolina playing one high major, going to BYU, who's a probable top 5 preseason team, and then for the other exhibition game, hosting an in-state D2 school in Winston-Salem State. Obviously, in this day and age, if you want to play 2 high majors, you can, because the NCAA has changed those rules. Right. Do you like it being one of each, or do you wish it was 2 high majors?
I like it of one of each, again, because I think like it's good for like the confidence boost. Like it helps out, especially like it's going to be a home game, and the fact that like now we're playing at BYU. I know like traditionally BYU is just like a whatever team, or somewhat respectable in basketball, but now like they have the number 1 recruit, or depending on what recruiting boards you're looking at. But so just the fact like they'll be high from that. Like it's nice to get the experience. Like even it doesn't seem like a win-win or lose-lose. I guess it's kind of a draw because like even if Carolina loses by 20, it's like, okay, well, it doesn't count. If Carolina wins, it's like, okay, it's nice to have, but it doesn't count. And I guess I kind of mirror it to last year playing at Memphis. And I mean, too bad it doesn't count as a quad 1 win. But the fact that, like, and without RJ Davis in that game, by the way. So the fact that like Seth stepped up, that seemed to help with his confidence and stuff, and just gave him that extra boost, like, oh, if need be, like I can carry the team, or maybe not carry, I can lead the team in said situations. And Memphis I know Penny has his issues, but they're always a respectable team. They should have a run in the tournament. I feel like one day they will, but they're always fighting for the AAC, and they're fighting for the AAC, and they're always close to winning a game or 2 in the tournament. So with this, like and I feel like it helps with recruiting a little bit. The fact that like you got to go other places, you're still playing top opponents. This one doesn't hurt. So it's kind of like a mulligan, if you will, or like a pre-SAT, if you will, for those that remember that. So it's just like, okay, like do good, but like it's not the end of the world if you do awful. And then soon, like, here's the real deal type thing.
Yeah, man, I love it. Great call. And I'm also very curious to see if we get another blue-white scrimmage like we do last year. I hope so. That was a great moment, hopefully without somebody getting hurt like RJ did last year. And then it's also still weird to me that this is going to be the first ever time that Kansas has come to Chapel Hill. Need more of that. Would love to keep that series going. All right, Davis, before we move to talking Montross Camp, let's do the trivia question right now. So again, when was the last time North Carolina went undefeated in non-conference play. What is your guess, my man?
Initially, I was thinking, okay, like Carolina, they have to have a really good team that year, obviously. So probably like at least the Final Four team. So, or close to it. So 19 sticks out to me, 12 sticks out to me, and 09 sticks out to me. I'd go with 09 because I know in 12 we lost at Kentucky.
That's right.
09, I can't think of a knock. I know we lost against Duke because Ty Lawson was hurt. 19, I want to say this, we lost at Michigan for ACC Big Ten that year. So I'd go with 09.
That is a wise answer, my man, because it's absolutely correct. You were right. You were right about those losses in 12 and 19 as well. In 19, they actually lost 3 non-con games. Texas on the neutral. I feel like always losing to Texas. And
Yeah,
also,
that was Thanksgiving, right, or Black Friday?
it was November 22nd. So yeah, probably. Oh man,
I think Kobe went crazy that game.
Yes. Yep.
And we barely lost, which
I think you're right.
happens.
And then to Kentucky on December 22nd. That must have been CBS Sports Classic. And then in 12, they lost at Kentucky and also to UNLV at UNLV. But in 2009, 14-0 in non-con play. And that was the last time the Tar Heels went undefeated. Davis Wallace, congratulations, sir. You have won.
And for bonus, I want to say we started off 0-2 in conference play that year.
Yes. Double bonus if you can remember the schools.
Boston College.
Yes, that's the first.
Virginia Tech?
No, it was at Wake.
Ooh, another tough place.
Lawrence Joel, man, it's a doozy. So, man, great trivia work. You even bonused up. I'm so proud of you. Great awesome. Showing on your rookie debut here on Locked on Tar Heels, man. That's great. Okay, Davis Wallace, man, really want to get into hearing about your experiences at Montross Camp last week, and something I know has been very personal and close to you and your family. That just is a special moment that you and Davey, your son, got to share last week. We're going to talk about that coming up in just a second. Davis, man, you had a super cool opportunity last week with your son, Davey. And I'm just going to give you the floor and let you talk about what you did and your experience. And just, if you don't mind going into it, just why it's been such a meaningful thing for the Wallace family.
Sure. So got the call in February that we were off the waiting list and we were able to go to Montross Camp. And honestly, like even like what I told Deanna Patrick, she is the coordinator, that honestly, like I forgot that I even signed up because it's been that long ago. Like I signed up probably a month after Davey was born because what
was his birth date?
It's September 29th, 2017. So we've been on the waiting list since at least October of 2017.
That's crazy.
It is. And so as you may know, I know that Coach Rob has talked about it. So it's from ages 7 to 13. So like we're in that, and it was just amazing. So like we get there early. It's nice it's been a while since I've been in Chapel Hill. So we're back there. I met Coach Rob. We talked for a little bit. And then, so like that Tuesday, which happened to be my birthday. So, but I didn't want any special treatment or anything. I just wanted to be a regular person, just a regular dad enjoying Carolina camp. So we get there, we're back in the Dean Dome. So which is what I know we texted about it. This is my first time at the Dean Dome since the Chris Jenkins shot, which is tough, as you know, because that's at the time I was living in Rocky Mounts, and I went to the watch party. I didn't go for the game against Syracuse. I was out of town, so I had to go for the watch party in the Dean Dome and stuff. So we're watching it, and then I know how the game was going. I remember specifically like when Justin Jackson, when he had those 2 free throws, I was like, if he splits, I feel good. He misses both. I'm like, ugh. And then so as you know, the Page shot happens. We're all going crazy, and then we storm the court. So when I tell you, like, I'm in the heart of the Dean Dome, the little NC logo and the state outline. So like we rushed there like after Paige hit the shot, we ran during the commercial break. So like we're there. It's like, all right, it's like I'm saying to myself, it's like, okay, let's just great defense, stop, overtime, let's win this. Amazing. So as you know, that doesn't happen. So like that's my last memory of being in the Dean Dome. Well, at least being on the floor. I don't know if you remember the game, Cole Anthony's his return against Boston College. We lost the game because of the whole who's taking the last shot nonsense. And this was probably like 6 weeks before COVID, but the whole shutdown. So that's the last time I was actually in a game in Carolina. So now, flash forward, I'm back here with my son, and Davey, he's just dribbling around taking shots. So just soaking it all in. Like, yes, I've seen the banners a million times on TV and stuff and in person, but still, it's like it's just in awe. So our first drill, like we had Andrew Montross, he was leading out along with Joel James. I know, might have heard of him. So we do some pick and roll stuff, so which is cool. Some of our kids, like it took them a while to like get in the concept of it, including my kid. It was like, okay, like, you know, like when do I go? When do I stay? You know, there's a whole bunch of illegal screens with our drill. It's left and right. Even Joel James, he told me I need to work on my picks, which is fine. I've heard worse. My coach has told me that before too. So like we're doing that. It's a rotation of different drills. And probably, well, I guess the next drill like that Davey does, it's a V cut and then a swipe through drive. So he does that. He does that well. He likes that. He's a natural in that. So like we're going through different drills, and now like it's the big men drills. So we have Kevin Salvadori, we have Tyler Zeller there. Later, Henri Veesaar comes in the afternoon. So for this one, it's post move drills. And she's like, okay, like this is what we're doing. We're going to do a drop step and stuff. It's like, okay, you know, like I'm confident with that. So as you know, I'm a fellow lefty like you, team lefty forever. I know we're far and few between. So Z's on the right side. So I come, like I'm in that, they're like, Dad, you can jump in too. I'm just like, oh, okay. So I'm in. It's like, you know, do a drop step. I get the entry pass, drop step with my left, go upright. I make it. Shockingly, I made it with my right hand. And then what does the other say? Oh, you're a natural. So, that was just validation to me that I should have been a Tar Heel my whole life. Like in a past, not even a past life, in a future life, in this life, I should have been at least a walk-on. That's how I took that, which was great. So we had various drills and stuff. So we had some drills in the practice facility. Pete Chilcote, he was there. He was doing like some shooting drills and stuff. So like, and then we're running back. Kids are running. They're excited. They're running through the tunnel. Some dads, including me, we're running-ish, like jog and stuff. Even Coach Rob, he was like, come on, like let's run type thing. So we do that. Then we do defensive drills and stuff. Then we do some passing drills. And then we go to our last station where Alyssa Usby, she's at. So it's a lot of ball handling drill, crossover stuff. So she's perfect with the kids and stuff. So they're doing that. They're dribbling hard. It's a lot of, you know, like pound the ground, walk, head up type thing, different crossovers. And there's okay, you guys did really good. Like you want to do more stuff like an advanced crossover. Everyone's saying, yeah, so they're doing that. So it was just great to be around that. And even just like with the message, just being around different people, just like, you know, just be kind to that, even if you don't know anyone type thing, just talk, like, where are you from type thing? How many times have you been here? Like introduce your son or daughter, this, that, and the third. So the first day it was jam-packed to the point that that's what we did all morning. Then we had a free throw shooting contest and a kids free throw shooting contest, one for the dads, knockout for the kids, and then turned out to knockout for the dads. So how was it for that? So turns out and they did it by groups. So like by ages. So you have to win your group stage if it's like FIFA. And then once you win your group stage, then you go into like the main court where Zeller is. So no pressure. Shooting from 2012 ACC Player of the Year and all academic. No pressure whatsoever, right? So Davey wins the group stage for his age group. Yeah. They do a practice shot. He misses the practice shot and then he makes the second one. So it keeps going and he makes the third one. And so he's in. Amazing. He did okay with knockout. He didn't win that. And then it's like, okay, but like at least he got that. So free throws for the dad. Same thing. Like I missed my first one. It's okay. I know what I need to do. So make the next couple ones and then I make it. So I keep making it and I advance. So I'm in the free throw contest. Shockingly.
Crazy.
Shockingly. But I was definitely excited. And then for knockouts, I happened to win that as well. So back to back, it just happened. And all I was thinking about, because they were talking about how last year, someone, I guess around our age, like this dad, like he went up to try to dunk, landed wrong, dislocated his knee. So like leading up to it, I was praying, like, please God, like I guess I would like to win, but I don't want to get hurt. And I don't want to airball whatsoever. So did that, advanced, went on to the main stage, did okay. Unfortunately, didn't advance, didn't win those, but it was still, like we got applause and stuff. So that was nice. And then met different people like during lunch and whatnot. And so after lunch, we have a guest speaker. We don't know who the guest speaker is. Coach Rob said he didn't know. Like I talked to him the day before, like he had no idea who it was. Last year was Danny Green. So like it could be anyone. I was thinking maybe Roy. I guess there's a possibility it could have been Michael Jordan, or literally, as you know, the Carolina family has a million people. It could be anyone in between.
Yeah. From
any walk of life. It could have been Lawrence Taylor. Who knows? We go, like, someone said something about Antawn Jamison, but like it was just like in passing, it's just like probably like a casual name drop type thing. So we go to the Carolina Basketball Museum, like they have chairs and stuff for us to sit. So we go in. Who is it? Antawn Jamison.
Yeah.
All-time favorite Tar Heel. Just amazing. So in second row, just gawking, just listening to stories left and right and stuff. He talked a lot about like what it is to be a dad and stuff, and experiences like with his dad, how his dad was always there supporting him for games. He wasn't saying much during games. He was one of those dads that would just have like, like your video recorder watching games. Or they just taping in the whole VHS stuff, which, like kids days don't know. Even his kids, they said, yeah, like they don't know. It's all grainy and stuff. So like, it was nice to hear like his experience from that. And then like, but he has 2 boys, so he was talking about that. And then, like the pressure of just basketball now, and just even just life with mental health and all that. So he said he had to get educated. So it was nice, a nice vulnerable moment to hear that from Jamison, National Player of the Year. His jersey's in the rafters. He didn't have to be that vulnerable with us, but it was nice to hear that as well. So then he talked about, of course, like fun stuff, and even just about like Carolina and being in the NBA as well. Like it was an open forum. Like Adam Lucas hosted, but like we were able to ask questions as well. So like I wanted to ask a question. I didn't really have one. So I'm thinking like in my head. So like I'm literally like doing this like in my head while I'm sitting. It's like, what am I going to ask type thing. Then I was like, ooh, Mount Rushmore. Typically like I'll ask like a Mount Rushmore type question, even just to friends about whatever, TV shows, this, that, and third. Ask them about like who is Mount Rushmore as of teammates that he played with at Carolina and in the NBA. And I'll ask you, Isaac, would you want to take a guess of who he said for his Carolina Mount Rushmore?
That he played with?
Yes, his teammates.
Vince.
Yep.
Ed Cota.
Yep.
Shammond Williams?
No.
Was Stack gone, or were they together on that first team?
He was gone, and I give him, he was born overseas.
Oklahoma?
Yep.
Interesting. And one, who's the final one? I'm not going to get it.
Himself. He was.
That's baller. I love it.
Yeah. And then for NBA now. So this one it took me for a loop. So he said Kobe first, then he said LeBron, then he said Dirk. His fourth one, he said Gilbert Arenas. He was like, oh,
interesting.
Yeah. And then so after, like, people asked him like more questions, and someone asked him like, what era would you want to play in, like this era or like the era you played in, or like anything. So he tugged with that one. He went back and forth. He was like I know it's tough. I know with NIL and stuff, but like this, like I love my era. I feel like that really prepared me and stuff. So he was tugging with that one for a while. And then so after that, we were able to take pictures with him and stuff. And then he even told me, he was like, that was a really good question you asked me. I was like, oh, I'm honored that you liked it. I felt like a journalist in that moment. And then so like I did a quick follow-up. I was like, so why did you say Arenas over Nash? He was like, yeah, it was tough, but like he's like, Gil's my guy. Like we had those playoff runs in DC. We had fun with the All-Star game. Like he's my guy. I was like, okay, I respect it. I've always heard like everyone loves Steve Nash, but so I was more shocked. Then he was like, oh, I know I left off Shaq on my list. So I really needed 2 Mount Rushmores for NBA.
Honestly,
like, it was so that was just amazing, just to be in the ambience of Antawn Jamison. So afterwards, like we had more drills, and then like the kids played, like they did about the NBA playoff team. So Dave was on the Pacers, and then naturally, like that day, like they went undefeated. They played well together and stuff. So that was great to see. We had JB Tanner as our coach, and we had James Brown as our assistant coach. So really, it was just shooting the breeze with both of them, and it was just cool to just be around that. Even with James Brown, like we talked about whole bunch of other stuff. Like I was saying before, like we talked about like the polar vortex because he was in high school then. So it wasn't necessarily always nonstop like Carolina basketball. Type thing. So like it was just nice to like, like the human interaction, and it's not always just about basketball 24/7.
I love that.
And stuff. And I know you talked about previously earlier this week about like Caleb Wilson like going crazy like with that game. So that was on the other side. So I saw him like from a distance, but like I didn't really see all the craziness while it happened. But like I did hear like all the noise and stuff in the gym. So in the afternoon, that's like when the players came out. Like we had, like I said, Veesaar, he was doing post moves with the bigs. So the kids really loved. We had, who do we have? Seth Davis, or not Seth Davis, never Seth Davis. Seth Trimble told Davey to get buckets. Davey was just like, okay. He just shrugged it off. It's like, okay, so all right. Solid advice that you may or might not take. We had Zayden High and Jonathan Powell, like they did the dribbling station. So Davey was doing that, and then like he shot over Zayden, he scored the first time. He was excited about that. So the second time around, like he's doing it again, he's about to score. Zayden blocks the mess out of him. Just absolutely just punctuates the ball. So which was fine. It was all in good fun and stuff. So and even with Evans, he did the defensive drill. So Davey really liked doing that with him and stuff. So that might be his favorite player this coming year. Him or Seth or Zayden, since he blocked him.
Yeah.
So just doing all of that was great. And so that was Tuesday. And I know I've been going long on this. I'd also say, so Wednesday it was more games. We did a little bit more drills and then awards and stuff afterwards. And in the practice team, that's when they did all of that after lunch. So we go there, and of course, like Davey seems like they're excited to see him and stuff. RJ Ramsey's Jr. is there. So like the kids, like they're taking pictures with him and all this stuff. So they're doing an award. So they do like a 5-time camper award. They give a plaque for that. Like Sarah and Andrew Montross, like they're talking about that and stuff. And, a lot of thank yous and whatnot. They recognize like the first timers, they recognize like the last timers, like this your final hurrah at this camp. And then like the different awards. So like, like the dads that won the various contests, they're giving out gift cards. They get like a little swag bag and stuff. I forgot to mention, we got a swag bag with like the Montross jersey, shirt, shorts, socks. So comfortable, most comfortable socks ever. So now it's even with just more swag bag for different awards that's being handed out. So like the teams that went undefeated, like they get their awards and their swag bags and stuff. And then like every other kid, like they get like their medals, they get their certificate and stuff. Like they did an NBA draft combine, so they get all the measurements and stuff. So Dave was telling everyone like he can jump 17 inches and whatnot. People were like losing their minds. Like Luke May was losing his mind when Davey said he can jump 17 inches. So never thought I'd ever say that sentence ever in life. So during they're giving out different awards and stuff. So they give out like a kid with the best attitude. It's like, oh, that's a nice type thing. So they give it to like one of the best kids that's like he was really skilled. Hopefully he could be in Carolina class of like 2034, however old the kid is. So that was nice to see and stuff. And so like they do all the kids awards, then they do the dads awards. Like I said, that won all the contests. And then like the last one, it was dad with the best attitude. And I was like, that's cool. That'd be nice to win someday. Like that's what I was thinking to myself. And then so like they called my name. I was like, oh, me. Like I was shocked and stunned for that. So like I walk up, so like everyone's clapping and stuff. And so this was Andrew Montross. He was on the mic giving it out. So got this medal. If you can list the back. This medal. So it says, yeah, have the best attitude, and there's basketball on the back. It's pretty heavy actually. And yeah, well, this didn't come with it, but like they had these water bottles as well. Montross Camp.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, awesome. As well. So that came with like a cooler, a Montross Camp cooler and stuff. Carolina blue, it was great. It also came with a gift card to Chapel Hill Sportswear, a $50 gift card, in addition to the 25% off that we got like in our swag bag. So that's even more. So I didn't expect any of this whatsoever. Awesome. I got that. Got a free night getaway that me and my wife, we can go to now. It's in Greensboro. It's like grand over. So that's nice. Wasn't expected. Came with an umbrella as well. So just all this stuff. Davey's ecstatic. So it was just meaningful. And I know like we've talked about it before, and I'll get into it. So unfortunately, we lost our daughter last May. She had some complications in the hospital. She was 21 months old. So I guess that's part of it as well. That was why we were excited about Montross Camp, just the fact that like all 100% of the proceeds, they go to the Children's Hospital of UNC. So even now, like all Children's Hospitals, they have a special place in all of our hearts. So the fact that like every single cent goes to that. In addition to that, they do like a coin jar that you bring back every year and you fill it up and you donate that. So this year they had almost $1,100 worth of coins. So all that went to the Children's Hospital. And even winning Dad with the Best Attitude, I felt like I didn't do anything special per se. Like I was just like every other dad, really just soaking it in, clapping, recording, our kids, taking pictures and stuff, gawking at players here and there, just encouraging. But I guess just the fact that like someone's just saw something in me. So like that definitely made me feel good and special. Just the fact that like with everything that happened last year with Skylar. And so now it's just even like with tough moments, like at times, as you know, this is a tough Carolina season. At moments, it was able to get away from that, especially like it's like the UCLA game and stuff. The fact like there's still you just have to live life and stuff. So, but like it definitely felt like I won Dad with the Best Attitude like for her, like so in her honor. So I guess I just take great pride in that, and just the fact that like it's a standing ovation like in the practice facility at Carolina. Never thought I'd ever get that. So just the fact like just being recognized for something, for winning an award, and with our unfortunate situation is just very meaningful overall.
Man, Davis, I thank you for sharing those stories with us and opening up your family's life to all of us who are listening to or watching this. I know it's not been easy traveling that road. I know you and I have texted a lot about it throughout, and I'm just so grateful for that example of continuing to live life one day at a time and moving forward. And man, I know, people listening to or watching this didn't know Skylar, but man, what a special young woman she was. And I know that she's part of my life and heart forever. And so, man, what a neat kind of testament to her. And I'm so glad you and Davey had those special moments together, man.
Yes, thanks. And thank you for that. Yeah, definitely. So, and the fact that like Davey, he's like already asking like, when are we going back? Like, are we going back next month? So the fact that like, so like now that we're in, like we have priority now. So it seems like we'll be going every year until he ages out or until he loses interest. So
let's go.
There's that. So definitely looking forward to seeing old friends now that we've made, and just continue on getting better and hopefully scoring more on Tyler Zeller and just just living it up and just being nice and kind to everyone. That's really the biggest takeaway.
Man, that's a good word. May that be true of all our lives, every moment of every day. Davis Wallace, my brother, it's been great to get to talk to you face to face like this. I'm so glad you joined and came on and did the whole show instead of just talking about Montross Camp. That's so fun. And so, folks, what a great show. Thanks so much for being here with us. If you've not subscribed to Locked On Tar Heels on video and audio, make sure you do that right now so you don't miss a second of the show. If you have not joined the Locked On Tar Heels Discord, we'd love to see you in there. That link is in the show notes, and it's absolutely free to join. Also, if you want to go next level with the show, Locked On Tar Heels Insider Program, we'd like to have you in there as well. You guys know the drill. Davis, you know what's up. It's always a great day to be a Tar Heel. We'll talk again tomorrow, but until then, peace.